Welcome to another episode of Stepback, the NBA show. It's your host, Miko, and I hope you guys are having a great Easter weekend. For myself, I actually played basketball yesterday with a bunch of these young kids. There's this baller, I think his name is David. He's 15-year-old and is my height, and man, this guy was straight up killing it. And all I did was pass him the ball and he would just dominate. So for today, we're going to be going over the latest topics in NBA. So we're going to start off with the Space Jam trailer. We're going to have some reaction to that. And another one would be who would be the best player to build your team around. The next topic would be should the Warriors compete in the play-in games. And lastly would be did the NBA make a mistake on finding Kevin Durant. So let's get it going. So let's watch the new Space Jam movie. It's called Space Jam: A New Legacy, and it's with LeBron James.
Basketball camp is next weekend. You got amazing potential on the court, and I can help you get there.
That's not what I want, Dad. You never let me do what I want to do. You never let me just do me.
Hold up, wrong floor.
Shit.
I bet Will Smith ain't got to deal with this.
Dad!
Down!
Okay, that LeBron face though.
What in the Matrix hell?
Okay, you guys see this? It's Westeros. It's Game of Thrones. Holy shit. Okay, you got Superman, Gandalf, King Kong, and Iron Giant. I think most people that are gonna be watching this are most people like us that watched the first one and it's kind of like have that nostalgic feeling. Yo, that's real good, bro. What? Flintstones? Oh, what? There's also the Scooby-Doo's the van. Yo, apparently that was AD. Dave Dollar, Lana Taurasi, and my boy Clay. I'm dead. This is so sick.
You gotta win this game.
Let's end this.
And get our son back.
Yo, they did that. I saw screenshots of this with D-Wade and the alley-oop to LeBron.
Welcome to the Space Jam.
Yo, can't wait for that. It's gonna be on July 16th, so in summer. Hopefully by that time movie theaters are open. So should the Warriors compete in the play-in games? And I would say no. And it hurts me to say this because Golden State Warriors is my team, and out of their 16 games, they've only won 4. Out of their 8 games, they lost 7. And yes, Curry was out for a couple of games because of that weird injury. I'm not saying they should tank, but I think that they should let James Wiseman and Eric Pascal develop and have Wiggins familiarized with the whole system. And if they end up going to the play-in games, I do think that they're just going to be risking Curry's health. The guy is 33 years old, so he's not young. And you know he's known to be somewhat fragile. Not like before, but he is still like old. Next season, we're going to be bouncing back because Klay Thompson is going to be back in the lineup. And I think we're going to be going back to the NBA Finals. And another thing is, if Minnesota's draft pick goes to the side of the top 3, it's going to be past the Golden State Warriors because of the D'Angelo Russell trade. So we could have another chance of getting a really good player. Probably kind of like Jalen Suggs, who just hit the half-court buzzer beater against UCLA, or Jalen Green from the G League. So it would just add more depth to our very slim bench, who just lost, I believe it was 61 against the Raptors. Do you think that it's just a waste for them to go to the play-in games, to go to the playoffs? Because I know they just would lose to another juggernaut like the Clippers, the Denver, the Utah, and the Lakers. So that it's sad. I'm really sad. Next question is, did the NBA make a mistake on finding Kevin Durant? And I would say yes, the words that Katie said was totally out of line, and he is known to be a very sensitive individual, so I expected this. But yes, NBA made a mistake because there's a private conversation between Michael Rappaport and Kevin Durant, who had a history, by the way. And Michael Rappaport, who posted those screenshots, should pay for all of it, or at least half. Or if we're doing all this now, might as well find everyone, because I'm pretty sure a lot of NBA players have used those slurs or used those exact words to other people. So if we just start leaking those things, might as well find everyone. I'm pretty sure even LeBron have said those things. So I really do think the NBA made a mistake on finding Kevin Durant. So who would be the best player to build your team around? And I would say it's Luka Doncic. But before we go over that, let me just mention notable players under 25, which are Ben Simmons, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, obviously Zion Williamson, and the Utah Jazz Donovan Mitchell. And I would choose Luka Doncic because Luka is only 22 years old. He's on his third season, and he's on another great year, coming off an MVP season last year. He improved his scoring efficiency, better field goal percentage, and three-point percentage. And his game, his passing, we already know this. Scoring, his basketball IQ is, I could say, one of the best alongside LeBron, CP3, and Rajon Rondo. And I could say it's very underrated. His footwork is amazing. Probably one of the best in the NBA. He could easily create space, and the guy's not the fastest. So he needs to be very smart with all his steps, all his dribbles. He's amazing at this. And to build a team around him, you just need shooters around. Like Steph Curry last year. That's why I believe they did super well last season. You have Trey Burke, Jalen Brunson, and Dorian Finney-Smith and Tim Hardaway Jr., who are shooters. And they also added this guy, Josh Richardson from the 76ers, who's a 3-and-D guy. And another thing is you can have pick and roll bigs like Willie Cauley-Stein and Dwight Powell, who you could throw lobs to. And that's why I think Luka Doncic is easily one of the best young player in the NBA right now.
If I had to pick who to build my team around, it's got to be Zion Williamson. He's much watched basketball ever since his days at Duke, and he hasn't even reached his potential. He's only in his second season, and he's already an all-star. So, honestly, you put a couple of key pieces around him, he has the potential to run the basketball league in like a couple years. He's a problem. He's a problem. I also want to mention Ja Morant, because that man, he's basically, if Russell Westbrook had John Wall's bounce, in my opinion. That's the most adept comparison if I could put into. And I just love that man's swagger. I love his attitude, man. I know he won Rookie of the Year only because Zion wasn't playing a good amount of games in order to like really, contend for it last year. But in my eyes, he's still Rookie of the Year because that man made an impact on the Grizzlies, in my opinion. They may be in the bottom of the Western Conference right now. I don't even know where they're standing right now. But, like, the future is bright for them.
Who do I choose to build my team around would be Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm sorry if I forgot your name, bro. But the man is just been in the league for a few years, and we can already see him reach his potential. He started with average points to back-to-back MVP at this first period of the year. Only 2 years. The only person to have ever done this is Michael Jordan and Akim Olajuwon. I forgot his name though. Sorry, bro. Sorry.
It's good.
But all those two people are back-to-back championships in their resume. I'm just saying the man is still young and still hardworking, and still his number improve every year. And fun fact, the one who had the most PR of all time is also Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm just saying the man is the truth. Better than Paul Priest, no offense.
Thank you guys for watching another episode of Stepback, the NBA show. Next week, I'm going to be having friends over FaceTime talking about the latest topics in NBA. So yeah, guys, see you next Friday. Bye-bye.